The introduction of Greeks in Central Asia and the foundation of the Bactrian Kingdom marks a fascinating epoch in history that bridges the cultural gap between Europe and Asia. The concept hinges on the remarkable chapter of Hellenistic expansion following the conquests of Alexander the Great in the 4th century BCE. After Alexander's death, his vast empire fragmented. Among the territories that emerged was the Greco-Bactrian Kingdom, encompassing modern-day Afghanistan and surrounding regions. This kingdom represented a blend of Greek and local cultures, introducing Greek art, architecture, and governance structures while absorbing the indigenous customs and traditions. The significance of this fusion lies in its role as a cultural conduit, facilitating widespread interaction between the East and the West. This period witnessed a cross-pollination of art, religion, and technology, influencing subsequent generations and laying groundwork for what would become the Silk Road. This interchange is exemplified by archaeological findings, such as the Greek-style cities Ai-Khanoum and the numerous coins bearing attestations of Greco-Bactrian rulers. Two specific examples highlight this cultural synthesis. First, the city of Ai-Khanoum, which reflects a unique combination of Greek urban planning and local architectural influences. The city featured elements like a gymnasium, theater, and agora alongside Zoroastrian symbols. Second, the fusion of Hellenistic and Buddhist art known as Gandhara art began to emerge in this era, illustrating the far-reaching impacts of Greek artistic techniques on Asian religious representations. Supporters of this idea argue that the Greco-Bactrian Kingdom was instrumental in the spread of Buddhist thought along the Silk Road, evidenced by the introduction of Greek artistic methods into Buddhist depictions, which helped convey the religion's messages across different cultural contexts. However, this cultural synthesis was not without its challenges. The Greco-Bactrian Kingdom faced internal strife and external pressures from nomadic tribes, which eventually led to its fragmentation. Furthermore, some scholars argue that the Hellenistic influence has been overstated in favor of acknowledging the substantial impact of local traditions. In broader discussions about Greeks in Central Asia, the foundation of the Bactrian Kingdom demonstrates the dynamism of cultural exchange and its enduring legacy through infrastructure, art, and religious thought. The region remains a testament to the historical interconnectedness of disparate civilizations influencing other realms within the topic, such as economic exchanges and later historical developments along the Silk Road. In the wake of Alexander the Great's death in 323 BCE, the vast empire he had established, stretching from Greece to the fringes of India, was left without a clear successor. This moment marked the beginning of a remarkable period known as the Hellenistic era, characterized by the spread of Greek culture and influence across Asia, and set the stage for the rise of the Bactrian Kingdom in Central Asia. The historical background of Greek expansion after Alexander is crucial to understanding the emergence of Greco-Bactria, a realm where Greek and Eastern cultures fused. After Alexander's demise, his empire was divided among his generals, the Diadochi, who embarked on a series of conflicts for supremacy. This fragmentation led to the establishment of several Hellenistic states, with the Seleucid Empire initially controlling much of Central Asia. However, regions like Bactria, located in present-day Afghanistan and Uzbekistan, became semi-independent and eventually asserted autonomy by the mid-3rd century BCE. The Greco-Bactrian Kingdom emerged, driven by the ambition of leaders like Diodotus I, blending Greek military prowess with local traditions. The significance of Greek expansion during this period cannot be understated. It laid the foundations for a unique cultural and political hybridization that significantly shaped Central Asian history. This Greek presence facilitated the spread of Hellenistic art, architecture, and ideas, which interacted with local traditions to create an enriched cultural landscape. Two illustrative examples of this historical phenomenon include the famed Greco-Bactrian coins, which featured Greek deities alongside local symbols, and the city of Ai-Khanoum, situated near the Oxus River. Ai-Khanoum, excavated in the 20th century, revealed urban planning, architecture, and art that mirrored Greek towns, showcasing the synthesis of two distinct worlds. While the Greco-Bactrian Kingdom represents a fascinating blend of cultures, it also faced significant challenges. Infighting, external pressures from nomadic tribes, and the eventual rise of the Parthian Empire contributed to its decline. Some scholars argue that the Greek influence in Central Asia was superficial and primarily military and economic, rather than a deep cultural integration. Despite these debates, the legacy of Greek expansion remains embedded in the fabric of Central Asian history. The Greco-Bactrian era illustrates the broader impacts of cultural exchange and serves as a testament to how the ambitions following Alexander's conquests cultivated a melting pot where cultures met and flourished, influencing subsequent governance, trade, and even the later spread of Buddhism along the Silk Road. The establishment and growth of the Bactrian Kingdom mark a pivotal moment in the history of Greeks in Central Asia, highlighting the fusion of Greek and local cultures that would shape the region's future. The Bactrian Kingdom emerged following the fragmentation of Alexander the Great's empire, when Greek generals and satraps began to govern the territories he had conquered. In particular, the Bactrian Kingdom was founded around the 3rd century BCE by Diodotus Thurinus, a satrap under the Seleucid Empire, who declared independence. This kingdom became a beacon of Hellenistic culture, thriving between the Hindu Kush Mountains and the Amu Darya River. The significance of the Bactrian Kingdom lies in its role as a cultural and commercial bridge between the West and the East. Strategically positioned on the Silk Road, it became a melting pot where Greek philosophy, art, and governance blended with local traditions and Indian influences. This cultural synthesis allowed for advancements in art and coinage, establishing Bactria as a vibrant and influential power in the region. Real-world examples of the Bactrian Kingdom's impact include the spread of Buddhism into Central Asia and, eventually, China. During their reign, the Bactrians adopted and promoted Buddhism, facilitating its spread through missionary activities along the Silk Road. Another example is the Greco-Bactrian art, which beautifully melds Greek and local artistic elements. The depiction of Greek gods and mythological themes on Bactrian coins provides valuable insights into the cultural dialogues of the time. Various scholars have praised the Bactrian Kingdom for its role in the transmission of Greek culture to Central Asia, acting as an intermediary that expanded Greek influence far beyond its original heartlands. Despite its achievements, the Bactrian Kingdom faced challenges, such as maintaining control over its diverse population and facing external pressures from nomadic tribes such as the Yuezhi, which eventually led to its decline. Some alternative viewpoints argue that the Greek influence in Bactria has been overstated, emphasizing the concurrent development of indigenous culture and regional autonomy. Furthermore, the concept of Greek identity within the Bactrian context has been the subject of scholarly debate, questioning the extent of Hellenization in the region. The Bactrian Kingdom's establishment and growth undeniably influenced other aspects of Greek presence in Central Asia, such as the subsequent Indo-Greek kingdoms. By fostering a precedent of cultural integration, Bactria demonstrated how Greek ideals could be adapted and thrive in diverse environments, emphasizing the broader narrative of the Greeks in Central Asia as one of intercultural dialogue and exchange. The political and cultural influence of Hellenism in Central Asia refers to the transformative impact of Greek culture and political structures following Alexander the Great's conquests in the region, particularly through the establishment of the Hellenistic Bactrian Kingdom. This influence reshaped local societies by blending Greek and native practices, resulting in a unique cultural and political landscape. The significance of Hellenism in Central Asia lies in its role as a cultural bridge, facilitating interactions between East and West. It helped integrate diverse ethnic groups under Greek governance while fostering advancements in art, architecture, language, and trade. This fusion of cultures is vital for understanding the dynamics of Central Asia during and after the rise of the Bactrian Kingdom. Take, for example, the city of Iconium, which showcased Greek urban planning and architectural styles, like the gymnasium and theater, alongside Eastern artistic influences. This city exemplifies how Hellenistic ideals promoted cultural syncretism. Another example is the spread of the Greek language, which became a lingua franca in the region, aiding administrative cohesion and cultural exchange across vast territories stretching from the Mediterranean to the Indus Valley. Scholars like Frank Holt argue that this cultural blend was instrumental in the prosperity and longevity of the Bactrian Kingdom, as it allowed for greater flexibility and resilience in governance. However, there are challenges and controversies related to the extent and depth of Hellenistic influence. Some historians claim that the Greek impact might be overstated, suggesting that the persistence of local traditions often diluted Hellenistic elements, leading to a more superficial adoption. Furthermore, alternative viewpoints emphasize the agency of local populations in adapting and reshaping Greek influences to fit their cultural context, rather than passively receiving them. These perspectives challenge the narrative of Hellenism as a dominant force, instead highlighting the complexities of cultural exchange. The political and cultural influence of Hellenism in Central Asia also laid the groundwork for the later spread of Buddhism into Greek territories, suggesting an interconnected web of religious and cultural transformations. Ultimately, this point is deeply intertwined with understanding Bactria as a center of multicultural interaction that left a lasting legacy on the social, political, and religious structures in the greater region.